Hello everyone, today we will be talking about tropical deciduous forest, which are also called as tropical monsoon forest, which are found in the tropical zone. The tropical zone lies between the two tropics, Tropic of Cancer, that is 23.5 degrees north, till Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degrees south. The distribution of tropical deciduous forest is as such. It lies around the Indian subcontinent, including countries of Burma, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, parts of Vietnam, China, and North Australia. Other parts include West Indies of Central America, Madagascar, Guinea Coast, and Brazil of South America. These are the regions of the world that receive seasonal winds, that is, the onshore wet monsoons in summer and the offshore dry monsoons in the winter, and especially in the Indian subcontinent. The climate is based upon the heating and the cooling of land and sea. Basically, it is dependent upon the land and the sea breezes, which are consistent over a long time. So, in the summer months, when the sun is overhead at the Tropic of Cancer, when there is summer solstice, the northern hemisphere receives summer and the southern hemisphere is experiencing winter. So at that time, the great land mass of Asia and India gets heated intensely and a very intense low pressure is created. The sea is also warming, but it is warming at a slower rate in comparison to the land, so it is cooler. So the warm air over the land rises, creating a low pressure system and attracting the cooler air from the high pressure zone, which is at the sea. At this time, the southern hemisphere is cool and is experiencing winter and has got high pressure. So, what is happening is that the low pressure system that is generated over Asia and around the Indian subcontinent attracts winds from the southern hemisphere. So, from the northern Australian region, winds are attracted. These are southeastern trade winds which are attracted towards Indian subcontinent, and as they cross the equator, they change their direction from southeast to southwest because of the Coriolis effect. So the Indian subcontinent receives these southwest monsoon winds from the sea, which collects a lot of moisture from the Indian Ocean and brings heavy rainfall in the Indian subcontinent around all the states. So the regions that receive these southwest monsoon winds in the rainy season or the monsoon season have the moist tropical deciduous forest, which are not as luxuriant as the equatorial forest, but they are commercially very important. Now in the winter, conditions are reversed. The sun is overhead over the Tropic of Cancer, which is winter solstice. Now Asia is extremely cold at this point. So because of which there is a high pressure that is generated over Asia. Because land gets cooled down at a faster rate in comparison to the water is still warm and has a lower pressure. As the winds blow from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure, winds are deflected back from the Asian subcontinent towards the Indian Ocean. So that is the outblowing of winds, which is northeastern monsoon winds. These northeast monsoon winds, when they are leaving the Indian subcontinent, they blow towards the Indian Ocean. They are basically offshore winds. They do not carry any moisture and they are cool winds. Now, when they blow over the Indian Ocean and they collect moisture from the Indian Ocean, they again become onshore winds and they change their direction from northeast to northwest when they cross the equator because again of the Coriolis effect. And these northwest monsoon winds, when they arrive in Australia, the northern Australian regions receive winter monsoons, as well as in the southern parts of India they also receive winter monsoons because of these retrieval winds, and as they carry moisture with them when they are crossing the oceans, they bring winter monsoons to these particular regions. The vegetation of the deciduous forests depend on the amount of rainfall they are receiving, and they are marked by dry periods as well. Now these trees shed their leaves in the dry season to withstand the drought, and these forests are less dense. The trees shed their leaf in the dry season, that is the winter season or the dry summers, and the rest of the time when there is rainfall, that time they are basically flowering. The trees are basically known for their hardwood, which is used for furniture making, for construction purposes, for making boats and ships. Apart from the teak wood, sal, acacia, eucalyptus are also used for wood, as well as bamboos are used for furniture making. There are also regions which have dry deciduous forest. Those regions receive very little rainfall as they basically lie on the leeward side or where the clouds are not able to reach. So these regions are basically scrublands and grasslands, which are also called as savannas, where the trees are basically very tall and they are very scattered, and it's a semi desert condition.